everyone? Welcome to JDB's Morning Cap. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. As May 1st is approaching, just 3 days away. There's some things we're going to get to today, so we're not going to talk about that a lot, but hopefully we get off to a good start. I was going to talk NBA. I'll save it for later because we just got news from Philadelphia. We'll get to that in just a minute. But we have two breaking news for Philadelphia sports teams, baseball and football. So this is a shocking one. So we'll get to that in about a minute or so. But first, I just want to say I believe this is the 79th episode of JDB's Morning Cap. We're just a few episodes away from a potential milestone of 100. We're not there yet. We're several weeks away from doing this. So 100th episode could take place by most likely around June. So we'll see how that goes here. So far we completed 78 episodes of JDB's Morning Cap. Today this is episode 79. Tomorrow will be episode 80. So this is excitement because I made my podcasting debut on January 5th of this year. So that was my plan. My plan is to podcast beginning January of this year, I wish I had to get up in the morning like this, but I had to take the time that how much I love this show, and I want in the next 10 years, to see who will be one of my idols about the talk show. The talk show idols like First Take, Nightcap, Shannon Sharp, and Chad Ochocinco owns that Nightcap. Who else I'm inspired with as far as talk show? The Herd by Colin Cowherd. First Things First, Speak. The list goes on and on. And ESPN, Get Up. So, and the Rich Eisen Show. It's probably one of my, and Pat McAfee Show as well. So, it depends on who one of my favorite talk show idols. So my favorite talk show idol, to me, is gotta be Rich Eisen Show. That's my favorite idol of the talk show. This is JDB's Morning Cap. So I just want to take the moment that I had to go through this in this one. Speaking of things are going through this. We have breaking news in Philadelphia. We're not talking about football yet. It's not basketball. It's Major League Baseball. I have to start the important news of the day. The Philadelphia Phillies have relieved Rob Thomson. Yes, Rob Thomson of his duties as a Phillies manager after a horrible 9-19 start, tied for last place in the National League East division with the Mets. The Phillies are set to play against the San Francisco Giants in a short 3-game homestand. The Phillies trying to figure things out, what's going on after they lost 2 out of 3 against the Braves, and they had a rough road trip. They end up 1-6. The Phillies end up getting swept by the Cubs. They end up losing 2 out of 3 against the Braves. Even though they snapped a 10-game losing streak 3 days ago, they just have not seen cohesiveness for this Phillies team. So the Phillies have fired Rob Thomson as Phillies manager. Don Mattingly will take over as interim head coach for the remainder of the season. Let me ask this question about Rob Thomson. This is the second managerial firing over the last 4 days. Let me ask this question really quick. How Rob Thomson got fired from Phillies manager? The reason why they got fired, this team just aren't executing at all. They're not executing in every facet of the game. The bullpen's been inconsistent. The starting rotation's been a dead struggle, even though they already brought Zach Wheeler back. And now you put yourself in a really tough position. Remember, 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, the Phillies had dismissed Joe Girardi as Phillies manager before Rob Thomson took over as an interim coach, got them to the World Series in 2022. Ended up losing in 6 games against the Houston Astros. And that was the Rob Thomson era. So here's the Rob Thomson era. Interim manager, lost the World Series, made the playoffs, lost the World Series in 6 games against Houston after they were up 2-1 in the World Series. In 2023, made the playoffs, lost the NLCS in 7 games against the Diamondbacks. They were up 2-0, up 3-2, lost the final 2. In 2024, they lost in 4 games in the NLDS to the New York Mets. And then last year, they made the playoffs. They won the division for the 2nd year in a row. They also lost in 4 games against the defending and eventual repeat World Series champion in 4 games against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And so far this season, just 9-19. Just not enough power right now. Injuries. Guys are not hitting the ball very well. The guys are not pitching well enough. Taijuan Walker is struggling. He already been released a few days ago. This has been a disaster for the Philadelphia Phillies. I knew this whole time. This is the second managerial change this week. Carter was fired from the Red Sox manager 4 days ago. Actually, 3 days ago. 3 days ago. I talked about that yesterday. This is the second day in a row that I've been talking about this firing of the MLB manager. Right now, you've just been talking about you're not accounting everything. You're taking your own accountability for your team. The Phillies right now, yes, they're clearly a mess. Is there time? Even they fired Thomson. Yes, there's still time. Remember last time the Phillies had fired Joe Girardi? Like I said, the Phillies made the playoffs. So hopefully history will repeat itself this year for Philadelphia. And that's not a problem because Bryce Harper has signed a huge contract. He's been with the Phillies team since 2019. Since he signed a huge contract. And now, where the Phillies are going from here. This is a talented roster. This is one of the most talented rosters, not just in the National League, the entire baseball, Major League Baseball. The Phillies are one of the biggest disappointing teams in baseball, along with the Mets. Both teams have the same record, and both teams, they haven't played each other yet. They won't play each other until around June. Which team will get out of this funk? So Don Mattingly takes over as interim manager for the Phillies for the rest of the year. So this is a problem right now for Philadelphia fans. Right now, the Sixers are facing elimination. We'll get to that in a minute. The Eagles are losing their front office. We'll get to that in a second as well. Right now, the Phillies are clearly a mess. We just said it all over again. And this is bad. This is bad for the Phillies. I'm sure that the Phillies are going to go through it in their process. The Phillies look at their schedule. They're home for the Jacks for 3 games. Then back on the road for a short road trip for 4 games in Miami from May 1st through May 4th. Then back home against the first place Athletics of West Sacramento for 3. I mean, this isn't going to be easy because Philadelphia has to figure it out where the matchups are. There's probably no easy way to say this about that. All right, we have another breaking news. Another Philadelphia sport. It's a football this time. The Eagles had stepped down Alec Halaby as the Eagles' assistant general manager. This is really rough. It's been a rough day in Philadelphia. Right now, we saw Thomson getting fired from the Phillies manager. Halaby stepping down as assistant GM of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Sixers could be eliminated from the first round with a loss tonight to Boston Celtics. Flyers in the NHL lost in Game 5 yesterday. They had a chance to close out again, this time on the road. They lost. They lost to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Penguins forced Game 6 of the NHL's Eastern Conference first round. Right now, Halaby, the reason why Halaby is stepping down because, hold on. The reason why Alec Halaby is stepping down he's been in this business for he's been in this franchise for 17 years as far as organization. The reason why he's stepping down, because I believe he's going to focus on his family. And actually, Alec Halaby was supposed to be. So Alec Halaby has found a new job. What'd you say? Alec Halaby, I believe he found himself a new job. I believe he did. But the Falcons are opening it for Alec Halaby. So Halaby is going to the Falcons organization. So this is a tough situation right now for Philadelphia fans. It's really sad. You gotta go through all this. It's really sad for Philadelphia fans. This may be a tough week in Philadelphia. Philadelphia may be eliminated tonight. The 76ers may be eliminated from the NBA playoffs tonight if they lose. Flyers could blow a 3-0 NHL first round series lead if they don't close out the next couple of games. This is really rough. This may be the roughest week in Philadelphia sports history. It's really bad. It's too bad you gotta go through this. It's too bad. All right, we're gonna move on. Coming up next, we'll recap the 2 Game 4s and a Game 5 game from yesterday, and I'll preview 3 Game 5s. We will step away in about 2 minutes. Let's get another breaking news. Let's get a breaking news before we continue our full segment. Developing story in the NFL: the Steelers have placed a rare right of first refusal tender on the veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers, meaning that he can accept 10% raise off last year's salary, which would pay him about $15 million for the 2026 season. As another condition of the tender, Rodgers will only be able to sign with the Steelers once the training camp begins. This UFA tender preserves the Steelers' right to receive a compensatory draft pick in the event that Rodgers signs with another team, while limiting his ability to sign another team once their training camp begins. Rodgers has not decided whether he will return for the 22nd season or retired. So let me ask this question about Aaron Rodgers. Should Aaron Rodgers return to Pittsburgh? Are you confident? Actually, let me change this question. Am I confident that Aaron Rodgers should return as the Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback? When I look at this depth chart right now, before I answer this question, right now it's Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, Drew Aller via drafted. So right now, to me, I believe I'm confident that Aaron Rodgers will return for his 22nd and final season. So they got several things to get that done. So if Aaron Rodgers decide to play another season in 2026, then you can knock yourself out. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't return, then 2 young guys will get an opportunity. Mason Rudolph is a veteran. Mason Rudolph should be the number 1 starter because he's winning games as usual. If Aaron Rodgers does not return to Pittsburgh, then Mason Rudolph will be your number 1 quarterback because Mason Rudolph has more starts than any other Steeler quarterback. Like Drew Aller, he has not played an NFL game yet. He's been drafted. Will Howard, I believe he only played like a few games in the preseason. I'm not sure he played a regular season game last year. I don't think he did, but there could be some possible quarterback competition if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play if he doesn't return by retirement. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are just waiting for the right answers right now. They're just waiting for it at this own moment. So we'll talk more about that in the near future. All right, let's go to the NBA. Let's start with the Thunder and the Suns. The Oklahoma City Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another 30-point performance, 31 points. But the big story, Chet Holmgren had 24 points. A.J. Mitchell with 22. Isaiah Hartenstein had a nice game, 18 points, as the Thunder earned a first-round series sweep over the Phoenix Suns, 131 to 122, in favor of the Thunder, and the Thunder will move on to the semifinals. Thunder, by the way, the Thunder has now won 12 consecutive first-round games under Mark Daigneault. That's unbelievable. Oh, here. So, here's my question about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Should a Thunder be confident in the second round? Even though they'll have to wait for the winner between the Lakers and the Rockets. Lakers currently leads the series 3-1. The series, Game 5 is tomorrow in Los Angeles. We'll get to that tomorrow. But should they be confident in the next round? Well, it's not going to be easy. I think there's still confidence. I'm still confident that Thunder could get out of the second round. Remember, Thunder won a championship last year. So keep that in mind. The streak is still in play. We have not had a repeat champion getting past second round since 2019. The Golden State Warriors did it. Will Thunder become the first team in 7 years to accomplish? So it's gonna take a while, because if Lakers win, so here's this: if Lakers win tomorrow night against Houston, then Lakers will play the Thunder in OKC on May 3rd. If the Rockets win tomorrow, then the series could get pushed back on May 5th, barring in case there's a potential Game 7 back in Los Angeles on May 3rd. So we're going to keep that in mind. Right here. So how the Thunder won last night how the Thunder swept the Suns last night. They made 17 3-pointers, which is 50%. And free throws have been a big story. 26 for 30 at the line, which is 87%. And the biggest why how they swept this series is the advantage. It's the physicality advantage. The physicality advantage goes to Thunder's favor. And that's what championship does. The physicality goes to the Thunder's favor. The guards, the wings, the forwards, everything is gonna be different. We're talking about with J-Dub Williams being out for a while. Someone else has to step up. Like A.J. Mitchell, Alex Caruso, he had a nice game last night with 14 points, 4 3-pointers. Cason Wallace. Isaiah Hartenstein, he had a huge game yesterday. Isaiah Joe needs to step up. Jalen Williams, Will Williams needs to step up. So everyone of the Thunder team has to contribute, other than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren. They're top 2 players on this team who can carry you. We all for the Suns, although this team got swept by the Thunder in the first round. I was pleased about this season, about the Phoenix Suns. The Suns season has improved. After last year, it was a disappointment. They finished 45-37 in the regular season. Jordan Ott has done a very good job. Even though the series the Suns' first round series against Thunder didn't like the way, actually didn't end it the way they wanted. Not the series the way they wanted, but there's some positive signs going to next season to be upcoming top contenders. it's been that way. I mean, they haven't done so since a few years ago when it was Devin Booker. It was Kevin Durant effect didn't work out. So it turned out the Suns. Devin Booker's the best player in Suns history, without a shadow of a doubt. He's one of the Suns' all-time scoring leaders. Devin Booker. He's amazed for this three. He's also the Suns' all-time three-point shooter. And Devin Booker's a future Hall of Famer. He's got to the NBA Finals before. He's got to the Conference Finals before. I mean, at least he accomplished a few things. He's been an All-Star several times in his career. I mean, he's done everything for Devin. He's done everything for Devin Booker in his career. That's something you really hang his hat on. So hopefully they'll try to move on in 2026-27 season. All right, let's stick with Game 4. Magic battled the Pistons last night. Magic took Game 3 last Saturday. So Magic won. So the Magic and the Pistons, both defense shined for much of this game. But Desmond Bane made some clutch shots down the stretch. 22 points, 5 made three-pointers. Jamal came with a huge dunk in the fourth quarter against the Pistons. Banchero didn't shoot the ball great, 4 for 18, but the Magic, with a 94-88 victory, to taking surprising 3-1 commanding first-round series lead. And Magic has a pretty good chance to close out on Wednesday night back in Detroit. And the Pistons shooting 20% from long range with 6 for 30 three-point shooting. And they shot 38% from the field, 31 for 82 for Detroit. The Orlando shooting not much better. They shot 33% from the field, 26% from long range. But the big story, the Magic defense forced the Detroit Pistons had 10 more turnovers than the Magic. Pistons had 20 turnovers, Magic just 10. So it's about ball security. Who's taking better care of basketball? Right now it's Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic has having their way in this series defensively. And they won 3 games out of the 4. And there's no getting around it. I believe Orlando Magic has done a very good job. We know this season hasn't been pretty, but now they're on the verge of upsetting the Pistons in the first round. So they cannot blow a 3-1 series lead. So they got to do a better job to do that in this one there. So the Magic right now, I'm really impressed the way they got contributions from these guys. Meanwhile, for Detroit, is Detroit in trouble after a Game 4 loss? Yeah, Kate Cunningham has struggled as far as turnovers in this series. Right now, he has 8 turnovers. He committed 8 turnovers last night. Durant had 4 turnovers. Right now, the big story for the Pistons in this series, disappointment, early series disappointment, is turnovers and free throws. It's been killers in this postseason. That Cade Cunningham's collapsed lung might prove it costly. I don't know how I don't trust the Pistons, because the supporting cast of the Detroit Pistons has not stepped up. Tobias Harris actually stepped up last night. He had 20 points despite the loss. Kate Cunningham at 25, he shot 7 for 23 from the field. He struggled to shooting the basketball. I mean, Kate Cunningham is having an up and down series, and that's why this Pistons number 1 seed Pistons team is trailing 3-1. They're on the verge of getting upset by the 8th seeded Orlando Magic. So they need to do something to go to Game 5. The series back in Detroit will be tomorrow in Game 5. So Magic with a 94-88 victory. The Magic takes a 3-1 commanding series lead. So they're on the verge of moving on to the semifinals. Regardless of the outcome of the Raptors and Cavaliers series, the series is deadlocked at 2 apiece. Keep that in mind. Let's move on. Game 5 last night of the first round, Western Conference. It was the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. Timberwolves were without Dante DiVincenzo and Anthony Edwards. Nuggets took care of business right from the beginning. The largest lead was Nuggets 27, ended up winning by 12 points, 125-113, belonged to the Nuggets, and the Nuggets keep their season alive to force Game 6 back in Minneapolis on Thursday night. Nikola Jokic led the way with 27 points, 16 assists, and 12 rebounds, a triple-double. Spencer Jones had a phenomenal Game 5, 20 points, 7 made field goals, 4 three-pointers, 3 steals, 3 blocks. Cam Johnson had 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. And Jamal Murray didn't shoot great. He did have 24 points and 7 assists. He did have 4 steals as well. The Nuggets forced 25 Timberwolves turnovers, and they keep their season alive. They shot 57%, and the Nuggets shot 57% from the field, 38% from long distance. So the Nuggets keep their season alive. So I hope the Nuggets will continue to do that on Thursday in Minneapolis in Game 6. So this is an impressive Game 5 win, no doubt about it. The defense did their job last night. The offense moving the ball really well. Nikola Jokic just being efficient, do what he has to do, even though he's having a rough series. I cannot blame him on this. But it's really, I know Nuggets are going through it right now. There's how they can come back from 3-1 down against the Wolves team. They don't have Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo. So I'm confident the Nuggets could come back from 3-1 down. I'm confident right now. I'm confident the Nuggets could win a road game in Game 6. So if they can do that, there's going to be a Game 7 on Saturday. So we'll see how that goes here tonight. So actually, we'll see how it goes here on Thursday, I should say. Meanwhile, for the Timberwolves, a tough one, a really tough, understandable loss. Julius Randle had 27 points, Dosunmu had 18. But the big story was turnovers. The Minnesota Timberwolves committed 25 turnovers in this game. Rough performance as far as turnovers. They did shoot the ball well, they did. They shot 51% from the field, 43% from long distance, but the turnovers have been an issue for Minnesota last night. So it wasn't a good day for Minnesota as far as taking care of the basketball in this one here. So that's going to be that here. So it's good. All right. So when we come back, we'll preview Game 5 games. 3 games are in action tonight, live in Boston, New York City, and San Antonio. So we'll find out right after this break. So hopefully that's going to be the case. We'll be right back, y'all. We'll be right back. All right. Today we have game fives in New York City, Boston, and San Antonio. So let's start with the Eastern Conference first rounds, game fives. First off, let's start with the Hawks and the Knicks in New York. The series is even up at 2 apiece. Knicks come off a blowout game 4 win against the Hawks. This is now a best of 3. It was 114-98 Knicks in game 4 on April 25th. OG Anunoby led the way with 22 points in game 4. Now they reclaim their home court advantage. So tonight, how the Knicks can play well at home in game 5 against a sneaky Hawks team. First, I think the Knicks need to do is to play a quality brand of basketball. That's going to be the key. They need Jalen Brunson to step up. They need Josh Hart to perform at a high level. They need Karl-Anthony Towns to perform at a high level as well. That's what the Knicks need to do to win a home game in game 5. We're going to have game 6 back in Atlanta on Thursday, so keep that in mind. The Atlanta Hawks, the New York Knicks, they need to be in this position tonight. They don't want to be in this position on Thursday. If they lose tonight, they may be in a bad position to lose this series unless they can go out there and win on the road. It's something they were capable of last year in the playoffs. Have success on the road than at home. But if you drop the Hawks in 6 games or more, or 7 games, then that's a disappointment. Tonight's game 5 is important for New York to make sure that they don't trail the series once again. They have led the series before. It was game 1. Since then, they trailed the series 2 games to 1. Now they even up this series, and now it's time to reclaim the series lead. That's going to be important for the Knicks going forward. Right now, their backs against the wall in game 5 with the series tied. We're all for Atlanta Hawks. How the Hawks can get a huge road game 5 victory. They need to shoot the ball better. They need to take care of the basketball because their last game, the Hawks struggled with turnovers. The Hawks had 18 turnovers in their last game. So they got to figure things out. What's going to happen here in game 5 tonight in New York City? This is going to be critical because of that. Then you explain your differences. Right now, New York Knicks, Hawks, they just don't like each other. It's got chippy in this series. I mean, Alvarado's got into it multiple times in this series. It's going to be key. Who do you like to win game 5 tonight, Knicks or the Hawks? I like the Hawks winning game 5 tonight. I think they have a chance to go on the road and take game 5, and hopefully they can reclaim their home court advantage. Next one, we'll stick with the Eastern Conference first round. 76ers at the Celtics, game 5. Celtics have a 3-1 commanding series lead. How the Celtics can close out at home tonight? Well, first off, the Celtics have dominated in the first quarter. They're 2-1 when they lead after 1. Correction. The Celtics are 3-1 when leading after 1. The only loss was game 2. So the Celtics have won the first quarter in every game in this series. They won 3. They're 3-1 in those games so far. If Celtics do win the first quarter tonight, then the Celtics will become one of the first teams in the NBA history to win every first quarter in every game in this series, in a single series. I think it has happened in the history of the NBA before. I'm not sure. So, if that's the case, they can make everything happen. So, I believe it's only happened in the history of the NBA. The two teams have won every first quarter in the NBA history. So this could become the third team in NBA history to win a first quarter in every game in this series at the minimum of 4 games. So that's how it's going to happen in this series. They can win the series or not. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia, how Philadelphia couldn't stave off the elimination on the road tonight. Who's the most important player for the 76ers? Other than Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. It's got to be VJ Edgecombe. He's having an up and down series. Not a great series, but he'll try to figure it out here tonight to force Game 6. If Sixers win tonight, they will have Game 6 back in Philadelphia on Thursday. So if that's going to be the case, they need something to go with it. If the Celtics win tonight, then the Celtics will move on to the next round. So this is what's going to happen here tonight. Who do you think who's going to win tonight? 76ers or Celtics? I picked the Celtics to win tonight. I think the game is going to be competitive this time. I think Sixers will fight tonight because they're facing elimination. They're fighting for their lives right now. But I think Celtics will hold on and win it. I think it's going to be a competitive Game 5. I think Sixers will give their all tonight, but the Celtics will get the best of the Sixers down the stretch, and they'll take the series. So don't be surprised if Sixers win tonight. If Sixers do win tonight, I'm probably going to be impressed about that. If Sixers end up losing 6 games, it could have been worse. See how that goes here tonight. Tonight, Game 5 of the Western first round, we have the Trailblazers at the Spurs. Spurs have a 3-1 commanding series lead. The Spurs try to close out tonight and could become the second Western Conference team to clinch the second round. If the Spurs win tonight, they will face the winner of their choice, either Minnesota or Denver. Minnesota currently leads the series 3-2, with Game 6 looming on Thursday back in Minnesota. For the Spurs, how the Spurs need to close out properly tonight in front of their home fans. Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox are going to be great, but the biggest X factor to close out Game 5 is Stephen Castle. I know he's dealing with a wrist injury in Game 4, but I'm saying Stephen Castle, Keldon Johnson will be the co-X factors for the Spurs in Game 5 to close out this series. If that's the case, then they have a pretty good chance to win a basketball game, and they have a chance to move on to the next round to face either Minnesota or Denver, which is Minnesota has the series lead 3-2. So we're gonna keep that in mind. Also, we want for the Trailblazers, how the Trailblazers keep their season alive. Who's the most important player in Game 5? other than Avia and Henderson. Most important player is Drew Holiday. He's a two-time NBA champion. Drew Holiday is the most important player in Game 5 to keep their season alive for Portland. Portland has stole Game 2 in this series, so they try to steal another road game tonight. So, like I said, it's gonna be critical for Portland to take Game 5 to force Game 6 on Thursday back in Portland. So that's gonna be the case. Who do you think who's gonna win tonight, Spurs or the Blazers? I like the Spurs winning tonight. I think Spurs will close out tonight at home, and hopefully they'll move on to the next round of the Western Conference semifinals. If the Spurs win tonight, then they'll have to wait for the winner between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, as the Wolves have the series lead 3-2. Like I said, we'll get to all that in this one here. All right, man, let's close it out. Tomorrow, we're going to recap from tonight's game in Portland, in Boston, and New York City. And then tomorrow, I'll preview Game 5 games in Los Angeles, in Cleveland, and in Detroit. Toronto and Cleveland is even up at 2. Lakers up 3-1 against Houston. Magic's up 3-1 on Detroit. Los Angeles Lakers and the Magic both try to close it out tomorrow night. Magic try to close it out on the road. Los Angeles try to close it out at home. Meanwhile, Cavaliers try to win an important Game 5 at home tomorrow against Toronto. So there's a lot going on tomorrow. So I've been discussing earlier today. We kick off the show. The Phillies have dismissed Thomson. Mattingly has promoted to the interim manager. Halaby has stepped down as Eagles assistant GM for a potential Falcons job. We recapped Game 4's. Thunder swept the Suns. Magic taking commanding 3-1 series lead with a Game 4 win over Detroit. Denver keeps their season alive with a Game 5 win last night. Now preview Philadelphia, Boston. I said Boston wins tonight. Knicks and Hawks. I said Hawks win tonight to go up 3-2. And then Trailblazers Spurs. I said Spurs win to move on to the second round of the Western Conference semifinals. So I've been talking about, and I'll also talk about Aaron Rodgers, whether or not he's going to play the Steelers in 2026 season. So there's a lot to be decided in this one here. All right, man. That's enough for me. This is JDB's Morning Cap. We will continue this conversation tomorrow, same time, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good day, y'all.